It's our experience, yes and no. Michelle Grace, I'm Peter Greenlaw. I'm the actual author of 4 best-selling books we're going to talk about today, Why Diets Are Failing Us, and you'll find out why they are failing us, because they are. We have 80. Hi, Dixie. Hello, Robert. My name is Peter Greenlaw. I'm actually the author and researcher, and I've written 4 best-selling books about why diets are failing us. You're going to learn today in this podcast the real medical proof. We don't give you opinions. Everything is original content. Hello, Robert. We've done the actual research ourselves. So we're going to talk about why diets are failing us. We're going to talk about the TDOS syndrome. We're going to talk about TDOS solutions and my 4th book, Your Third Brain. Now, here's the reality. 80% of Americans overweight, 50% are obese. Do any of high sway? Do any of them really think that diets are working? You hear all this chatter on social media. One of the biggest buzzes right now is time-restricted eating, where you don't eat for 16 hours and you eat for 8. We're going to show you with medical proof in the New England Journal of Medicine, in the Journal of the American Medical Association. You will be completely shocked at the real medical results, not hype. DJ, we don't scrub. Sarah, this is Peter Greenlaw. I'm a nutritional researcher. I've written 4 best-selling books on why diets are failing us, and I have the medical proof. We're going to show you today 7 new peer-reviewed medical studies after 40 years of research. The researchers found a protocol that's not a diet. It's not about counting calories, where men and women lost as much weight in 7 days as 8 weeks of any diet you've ever been on, safely, backed by 7 peer-reviewed human trial studies. Now, here's the other unbelievable part. In a month, men and women lost as much weight in 30 days as a year on any diet. They lost no water, so it wasn't water weight. And instead of losing lean muscle mass, which is the case on every diet you've ever tried, they gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass with no exercise at all. So, Sarah, Alex. So again, this is completely revolutionary. We also offer you a free website. I'm going to put it up there. And the only thing on the website is the medical proof, the new health. Whoops. Sorry, I got to put it in there. Health conversation. It's free to go there at any time. You can go and see all the medical proof. There's no books to buy. We don't trick you. There's nothing like that. So you can see it there, the new health conversation. Now, the reason that we invite you to go there is you get to see the medical proof first. If you like what you see, hi, shred it now. Oh, Alex, you. If you like what you see, then you can sign up for a free, and I mean free personal consultation. No gimmicks, no tricks, etc. But Sarah or Alex, how excited would you be if you could well, most women, for example, lose a whole dress size in the first 7 days. There's nothing like this. When you go to that website where you see the medical proof, the before and afters, I can't show on social media or they would ban me. And again, I'm the author. This is live. It's not a podcast. I'm here to answer any and all of your questions. So let's talk about why diets are failing us. What's the biggest challenge as far as diets not working? Well, the whole concept of counting calories is nonsense, as we write about in our book, because the human body doesn't know what a calorie is, doesn't count them. What the human body cares about, though, is nutrition. So when you go on a diet, what you're really doing is you're lowering the quantity of food you're consuming, whether it's time-restricted eating, paleo, keto, Mediterranean, lose weight for your blood type, at Jenny Craig Atwater, any of those programs, right? But what they never tell you is when you lower the amount of food, you also lower the amount of nutrition. And when you lower the amount of nutrition, what your body does, it goes and breaks your muscles down for fuel as a survival mechanism. And then what happens, the body slows down metabolism. You can't burn as many calories. You stall out on the diet, or worse, you come off the diet, you gain everything back. Do you know, we write about in here, in one of the big studies, they said 66 and 2/3 of people who go on diets by lowering calories or restricting calories gain back more weight than they lost. They didn't just gain back the weight they originally lost, they actually gained back more weight than what they did. So again, for the new people coming on, we're talking about why diets are failing us. And then we're going to show you and make you aware, carnivore. I'm a fan of carnivore to a point, but it still has great limitations, okay? One of the things that we're really fighting is this TDOS syndrome. The T is for toxicity, the D is for nutritional deficiency. I'm going to point that out to you on carnivore, why that's still a big problem, okay? Leading to being overweight and stress. The problem we're facing is the soil in North America is becoming more and more bankrupt. As a result, when we consume food, it has less and less nutrition. Let me give you a couple examples. One of the things we're the most deficient in our soil are what are called trace ionic minerals. There's 70 that we need. not just iron, calcium, magnesium, but things like gold and silver and zinc and beryllium and boron and molybdenum. We need 70, and in the best organic you can find or buy, you're getting 20 out of 70. Well, the researchers in these 7 new peer-reviewed studies after 40 years, they found a source where the food had all 70 minerals. So right away, when you're doing carnivore, you're already in a mineral deficiency, whether you know it or not, okay? The other thing that we're the most deficient in our diets is the absorption of the amino acids. Now, true, on carnivore, on any protein, you're getting all 20 amino acids. 9 are called essential, meaning you have to get them from your diet. The other 11 are non-essential. So when you eat steak, chicken, liver, fish, you're getting all 20 amino acids. Well, you think that's great. Well, in Europe, and again, we only give you our own research, scientific proof. We don't give you opinions. This is what they found. When they analyzed when you ingested any protein from an animal, the absorption of the 20 amino acids, which is all you should care about from 0 to 100, was only 30%. When they looked at plant proteins, it was even more discouraging. It was 10% out of 100. Well, again, the researchers found a source where the absorption of the amino acids was 91%. So you can see, even if you're doing carnivore, you're still nutritionally deficient. You need 70 minerals, and you're getting 20 at best, okay? You are getting 30% of the aminos with a carnivore version. You need 91. Now, ironically, in the studies, they had people, 40% of the proteins they consumed were from meat, chicken, liver, fish, whatever, right, from animal proteins in this country, but only 40%. The other 60% of the proteins were coming from this source where the absorption of the amino acids was 91%. See, where people get confused, they think, well, I'm going to ingest 120 grams of protein and I get 120 grams of protein in my body. Nothing could be farther from the truth. Now, let's go back to meat for all animal proteins. Yes, you're absorbing 30%, but what about the other 70%? The other 70% is toxic waste. See, protein is like a walnut shell. You don't want the protein. I mean, I don't think when you eat a walnut, you eat the shell, you eat what's inside the shell. So what is not converted into amino acids, what's left, the kidneys have to get rid of. They're called nitrogen catabolites, okay? So in the studies, let's get into that right now. What did they do? How were they able to have men and women with no exercise allowed lose as much weight in 7 days as 8 weeks of any diet, lose as much weight in a month as a year on any diet? How did they do it? Okay, what they did would had never been done before. Now, these researchers, to let you know, the top weight loss researchers in the world for 40 years, they had done over 150 studies, thousands of people over the course of 40 years. They found no matter what diet they put people on, they lost weight. That sounds good. But in every case, up to 40% of what people were losing on it didn't matter if it was paleo, keto, time-restricted eating, fasting, the Cornish diet, the Zone diet, DASH diet, and Jenny Craig, it didn't matter. Up to 40% of what people lost of their weight loss was lean muscle mass. And when that happens, your body slows down your metabolism. It's not up for discussion. It's not a debate. Then you can't burn as many calories. You come off the diet, you gain everything back. Hopefully this is making sense to all of you, right? Now, so what the researchers did, they developed a grocery list that you would get if you decide to do it. 40% of the food you'd go to the grocery store and buy from the list. Proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, etc. And there's even a carnivore version, so don't worry about that, okay? Now, but here's the key. They realized that all the studies they'd ever done were based on lowering the amount of food people consumed, lowering the amount of nutrition people consumed, and the body went in starvation mode and burned muscles. They had to avoid that. So in these studies, their first concentration was we need to give the body the minimum amount of nutrition so it doesn't go in starvation mode. Well, they went way past that. As I told you, you need 70 trace ionic minerals, and in the best organic food you can find, you get 15 to 20. Well, they got all 70. Also, the amino acids, which in steak, chicken, liver is 30% absorbed, they found a source that was 91% absorbed. So 60% of the food that they had the people consume came from these sources from around the world. They came from Russia, Mongolia, Manchuria, from Tibet and the Himalayas, South America, New Zealand. Why was that important? Because that 60%, there are 5 foods that they did in addition to the 40% of the food you buy from the grocery store, they had massive amounts of nutrition, not massive amount of calories, okay? So then now you've got the ingredients, but you don't have the magic. The magic is now how do you consume this? So again, they tried 2 totally different new ways of consuming. One is called protein pacing. Well, they were able to do it. Think about it. So now they had people have protein over about 12 hours. So they were having protein, let's say, every 2 to 3 hours to make it. But the people literally consumed 60% less protein because the only thing the body cared about was the amount of amino acids. I already told you that steak, chicken, liver, fish are 30% absorption. So only 40% of what they had people eat came from those sources. The other 60% came from these sources that had a 91% absorption. Now, what's ironic is I already told you, men and women lost as much weight in 7 days as 8 weeks of any diet, lost as much weight in 30 days as a year on any diet, and instead of losing water or muscle mass like they did in all the other diets and they gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass with no exercise. Now, how's that possible? Because one of those 20 amino acids called leucine is how your body makes muscle. So think about it. They were now getting 91% of leucine, but it wasn't, they didn't have to have more protein. They consumed 60% less protein and ended up with the same amount of amino acids. So 5 days a week, people did what's called protein pacing. Oh, wow, he lost 50 pounds for a second. Anyway, to keep going, to highlight this, the other thing that happened was that they created something called intermittent nutritional fasting, not fasting, where people had 4 of the foods, nothing from the grocery store. 4 of the foods out of the 5 foods were primarily liquid, sort of like liquid nutrition, not a supplement, okay? And on those days, that was when the real magic occurred, okay? Because every night when you go to sleep, whether you know it or not, your body, once you go to sleep, shuts down your digestion and turns on the detox mechanism. It's called autophagy. It's a scientific word. What it means is the body's getting rid of the debris and the bad stuff, right? Well, the researchers figured out a way how to turn that on when people were awake. That's why they did the 48-hour intermittent nutritional fasting each week until people got to their goal. See, this protocol they invented is called R2M. It stands for race to maintenance. Okay? But again, imagine women lose at least a dress size in the first week. Guys will lose 2 or 3 inches off their waist, okay? I did it 21 years ago. I lost 8 inches off my waist in 18 days. I went from 42 to a 34-inch waist. I'm still a 34-inch waist today, although somebody yesterday said, oh, you're not a 30. Really? Are you here? You have my genes? I mean, it's crazy what people do. Because I understand they have a hard time wrapping their mind around something that's so unbelievable. Now, again, you can still see it there, the new health conversation. So the idea is you can go there, see all this medical proof. You don't have to believe me, but you might want to believe the peer-reviewed human trial studies. On that website, there's also an interview with the #1 nutritional researcher in the world who conducted these peer-reviewed studies. Plus, over the last almost 40 years, they did 150 studies looking at every single diet out there. So if any of you have any more comments or questions, please put them in the comment section down there, because I'm more than happy to answer them for you. I know it sounds too good to believe. I know that. I do 4 to 5 of these a day. And every time I can see the comments, or when people, if you do take the time to go to that website, the New Health Conversation, we're not going to contact you. We don't do that. We don't need to do that. That's not anything we're interested in doing. We want to give you the chance for the first time ever to have an alternative. Because right now, I don't know of a diet that's not some form of lowering calories. So F de Tour, I hope that gives you some idea. I'm not against the carnivore, but the carnivore by itself is still really, really deficient if we want to maximize our quality of life potential. If we want our body to run at the highest possible levels, then obviously what you want to do is you want to be able to give your body what the body needs. It has nothing to do with the calories. It has everything to do with the nutrition, if that makes any sense, whatsoever. So I really hope that you will take the time to go to that free research site, the New Health Conversation, and see for yourself. It's not up to me, okay? Okay, Alex, I'm going to put it up here for all of you again. It's the New Health Conversation. Okay, the next thing I want to make you all aware of, or teach you, however you want to broach it. For some reasons, there we go. The New Health Conversation. All right. Let's talk about this medical syndrome, which every one of you, including myself, including everybody in the world, has this medical syndrome. You can see it there, TDOS. The T is for toxicity. The D is for the nutritional deficiency we've been talking about, overweight and stress. What it means is we're breathing and drinking, eating. By the way, it's a registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office. So it's recognized as a new medical condition, a new medical syndrome, okay? You've heard of a metabolic syndrome or syndrome X, right? How can I try this? Again, you want to go to the New Health Conversation, F to Torah. Go there. Look at what's there. At the very bottom of the first page, it says schedule a free, and I mean free consultation. No gimmicks, no tricks. You'll do an interview with one of our coaches that's done it, that's been trained. Not somebody in an 800 number in a pool reading off a chart. No, we don't do that. We want to know, what do you want to do? You know, because we don't know anything about you. We don't know your age. Do you want to gain weight? Do you want to lose weight? Are you on medical conditions? How much do you exercise? I mean, we have children as young as 2 doing this, and people in their 90s. Those are different programs. We have people with, you know, high blood pressure or high blood sugar. And look, we're not treating, curing, diagnosing, or making medical claims whatsoever. We don't do that. We don't need to do that. We rely on the results that are in the medical studies. But listen to this. What happened to people in 30 days was blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, triglycerides, all came down dramatically for people in 30 days. That's a bonus. That's on top of it. Like I had told you, that you're able to literally lose as much weight safely in a week as 8 weeks of any diet. So that alone, hopefully, and you can be curious and you can be skeptical. And here's the thing that I will promise. When you go to that website, there's nothing to buy there. I don't even sell my books there. I don't want you to buy my books. But we've provided you with all the medical proof for free at that website. And if you like what you see, then you can schedule a free consultation. You'll get and look, if you do it, a couple more things. Number one, you will get a coach, the same coach who interviews you, for free, okay? And then the other thing that'll happen is that if you do decide to do it, 5 of the foods that they provide to you, they offer a 100% money-back guarantee during the first 30 days. So I hope you will. I hope you will go there and, you know, take advantage of that. So, are there any other questions that anybody has that I can address or answer before I conclude this podcast? Okay, comment. What do you mean nobody cares? You've got 80% of America overweight, 50% obese, 50% are pre-diabetic. Your healthcare system is going to collapse. Okay, that's what's going to happen. That's why you should care. There won't be enough money in the world to deal with this, right? And so the point being that this is the first real natural solution that's ever been discovered in 40 years. I mean, you have to understand, we're not going to have enough beds, doctors. I mean, if this thing continues the way it's going now. We've had almost a 25% increase in obesity from 2018 to 2024. That's like I said, it's gone from 42% obese in 2018 to 50% obese in 2024, 6 years later. So I think this is kind of a pretty big problem. I mean, right now they're already starting to have insulin shortages. That's why insulin prices have gone up so much. So what are we doing? Are we just ignoring, pretending that, oh, obesity is cool? Really? Really? The healthcare costs involved in obesity are staggering. Now, let's talk about 92% of the American population is metabolic and healthy. This you should care about. And in that particular configuration of being metabolic and healthy, we have 92% of the population with 3 of 5 conditions: overweight, high blood pressure, high blood sugar, high cholesterol, high triglycerides, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, I hope you will. I hope you'll go to the website, the New Health Conversation, and sign up for a free consultation. So I'm going to end this now, and I hope all of you have a really great day.